Hello viewers and welcome to another Doctor Who episode review, and today I'm reviewing Arachnids in the UK. It will contain some spoilers, so if you don't want to watch, then don't watch. So, this is episode 4 of series 11, and I've got to say that this is probably the weakest episode of the series so far. The others average around 7 out of 10. Some 7.5 maybe for Rosa, because I really like that one now. I've watched it a few times. But Arachnids in the UK, it's probably a 5 out of 10 to be honest. So what to say? Let's go with things that were good. So, things that were good in this episode were probably the spiders, to be honest, because they were creepy, the noise that they made. For someone that has arachnophobia, which is definitely me, I thought I'd be a lot more scared, if you know what I mean. I weren't as scared as I thought I would be, to be honest. So I was a bit disappointed with that, but the spiders did look good and they were really creepy, which is really what I was hoping, but I just don't think there was enough of it. But yeah, the spiders were good overall, I think. Next thing is probably the companions, especially Graham, because I really do like Graham. He's probably my favourite out of the three. The companions were really good. Like normal. Graham had his moment in Sheffield. Now they've gone back. He's getting these things that Grace would say, like the bins. The bins need to be put out and all that. And you can see his reaction. It's like, oh, really sad, and he just wants to take his mind off it. Yaz and Ryan were both good as well. Ryan still added that bit extra into the episode, and we finally get to meet Yaz's family, which I thought was good as well. I don't know what I think about Yaz's family so far. A bit, I don't know. I'm going to have to probably see more of them, which we'll probably see in future episodes. The Doctor were also really good. I like her way, I like her personality. Yeah, she was really good as normal. And what else were good? Oh yeah, the new time vortex, before I forget. That looks amazing. I just love the way that was. I wasn't even expecting that at all. The time vortex were great, and I love how it went from one time vortex, and it like there were loads of them, and it, like the TARDIS went in one of the holes, one of the vortexes, which were a very good take on it. So I thought that was really impressive, and the TARDIS didn't look actually that too bad in this episode, to be honest. But to be honest, they're the main good points of the episode. Really, yeah, I'm a bit disappointed, but you know, it's supposed to be a simple episode, accessible for anyone who hasn't seen the series yet, who can just join in. But it's a bit basic and a bit boring, and the plot weren't right good, or just storyline, or whatever you want to call it. It weren't to the high standard that I was hoping. I mean, to be honest, the title was misleading with it saying Arachnids in the UK. It was basically Arachnids in Sheffield, as the Doctor just looked at like the hotels in Sheffield that whatever his name is, Robston had. But then we didn't get to see the spiders in different parts of Sheffield. We just saw it in a hotel, so it's Arachnids in Robinson's hotel, which is very, very misleading to the title. Because I was hoping to like see the spiders like crawl out of other people's homes around the country, and you got to see like some sort of global scale, but for that you probably need a two-parter, which is probably what this story needed, to be honest, to actually make the plot more enjoyable and actually complement the title. What else? Oh yeah, the actual guy himself, the guy who's like Trump, running for president in 2020, Robinson or whatever his name is. I couldn't stand him at all, to be honest. It was very political, which you'd probably expect from a future president. But it was basically his character in this episode. Was basically the message was that it's bad for Americans to use guns, and us English need to teach the Americans that guns are not always the answer, which seems to be what the 13th Doctor seems to be mad about guns. And for this episode in particular, even though she weren't particularly mad at him at the end, which is a whole different story, which I'm coming to at the end. I'm going to speak about the end only. She didn't seem as mad as I thought she was going to be. But I'm going to leave that to the end. But I just couldn't stand Robinson, whatever he's called. I really couldn't. Also, the toxic waste thing, making the spiders giant and all that underneath what the hotels were built on. Nice idea, good callback to the Green Death, because there were that sort of toxic thing, and there were giant maggots. In this case, there were giant spiders. And yeah, I saw the connections there, although there weren't any references to the Planet of the Spiders in this episode, which I thought there might have been. Or any sort of spidery thing like the Arachnids or something. I thought they might have had a mention or something. To be honest, when the episode first came on, like the first 10-15 minutes, I thought this is going to be really good. This is going to be building up to something really creepy and really scary. It's going to make me jump. And to be honest, it didn't make me jump, and it was a bit of a letdown, because halfway through I was thinking, something going to happen. Something's got to happen here. And I looked at the time, and it's like 10 minutes left. Oh, they're going to have to wrap this up quickly, and they did. They didn't. It was like Smile from Series 10. The ending was just, what? So yeah, the ending for this episode was basically the spiders were suffocating anyway, and because they were trapped in this room through the vibration that Ryan had, his music, which were awful. But there was this mother spider which was suffocating and dying anyway, and which I thought were really corny. And Robinson shot it. And the Doctor were like, no, you shouldn't have done that. You have no mercy or whatever, she said. And I've only seen this episode once, by the way. She says something like that, and he just walks away like nothing's happened, and there we are. He goes back home or whatever. So we never see him again. The Doctor were as mad as I thought she was going to be. I thought she was going to be really angry. I thought, oh god, that's going to really wind her up. She's going to say something, and she didn't, to be honest. She says, you have no right to do that, which is not going to be intimidated by, to be honest. So I thought she'd say something like that. It kind of reminded me of Vincent and the Doctor, which I've seen recently, to be honest. I do like that episode a lot, and I thought I should, I don't know, do something with Spider or something. But it was dying anyway, and to be honest, I think a lot of people have said this. It was actually right for him to shoot it, to put it out of its misery, to stop the pain. Because if the Doctor let the spider suffer, then obviously it's struggling for oxygen because they're too big and they're in pain. So that's a bit messed up, I think. But I just think the whole plot was really weak, and obviously it couldn't beat Rosa or even the other two episodes. So just yeah, it's kind of a letdown, to be honest, because I like the idea of using people's like the biggest fear of spiders as the kind of monsters for the episode, because I was preparing myself, and it was a bit of a letdown to say that I'm arachnophobic, because I wasn't really scared. But you never know. It's I don't know whether to call Robinson a villain, but it's another villain who's ran away, who could come back again if they go back to Earth or the UK or even Sheffield, which would probably be most likely. We'll probably see him again, or we might even see the spiders again, because to be honest, it could have been the UK, but we never saw it, so there could be spiders still living and giant spiders still going on and all that sort of stuff. Because I don't think Ryan's music, the vibration that it caused, would have got every single spider from all over the UK or wherever to be trapped in one of the rooms in the hotel, because that's probably impossible. So if the UK, Arachnids in the UK, is actually correct, then we could be seeing the giant spiders again, which I'm hopefully we do see it instead of the two-parter, because this story would have suited a two-parter or like a sequel to it to see what actually happens, because it could be Arachnids in the UK part 2 or something. But if they don't bring back the spiders of this series or anything, or explain how it happened, how it ended, and how it affected the whole of the UK, even though we never saw it, then I will be disappointed, and it will probably go down in my ratings. Instead of that 5 out of 10, probably 4 out of 10, because yeah, the creepy aspects are there. The companions were good. The doctor were good. He has his family were okay. I didn't mind the TARDIS and the Vortex, but it's just the plot, the scare factor were as high as I thought it would be. There's a lot of loose ends. The ending was rushed too much, and it just kind of seemed like a filler episode. To be honest, they probably needed to write an episode fast, and they just wrote an episode about, I don't know, spiders, and that's it. That's all they did. That's what I'm thinking, and I think it's another one written by Chris Chibnall only. So there's a lot of stories written by him. So to be honest, there were pressure on him, but you know, if someone else wrote it, then I think it would have been a better episode. And if it had been a two-parter, everything would have been explained a lot better, and we might have seen it somewhat of a global scale or UK scale of how the spiders are going into everyone's houses and scaring people and sort of like invading, which would be good. I could probably imagine that with if this was a Russell T Davies story, because he tended to do two-parters which were like that, which sort of ended with the cliffhanger, which had like spiders were everywhere. So I could just imagine that. Even the Moffat era, even though I'd hate Moffat's writing of Doctor Who, I think he might have probably made it a two-parter maybe. But so far, I just think Chris Chibnall's writing is very basic. I don't know whether he's doing it on purpose, but I just want a more complex episode. So hopefully we'll get that for a few episodes for the rest of the series, maybe. Just one or two at least. I don't want every single episode of this series to be basic. We've had the first 5 episodes, yeah. It's an introduction. So we just need the last 6 at least to be something a bit more happening and not too corny and not too rushed and clever. So yeah, that's what I want from the rest of the series, to be honest. So yeah, that's all I'm gonna say about this episode. It's definitely the weakest episode of the series, as I've said, and I'm hoping that there'll be more going on next week, because I think this episode has set up for the rest of the series where everyone's agreed to stay and they're in the TARDIS and they're going somewhere. Like this episode and the ones before was like, I need to get you home because you're not my companions yet. Well, they are now, so maybe something will happen a bit more. So I'm hoping for that. Next episode is the Tsuranga Conundrum, which sounds interesting. It sounds like a puzzle or something like that they need to work out, which sounds interesting. Hopefully there'll be a bit more of a villain, but I can't think what the villain will be yet for that episode. Unless the villain's the one who's trapped them, who's given them the puzzle to get out or something. But I have no idea. I haven't even read up what's going to happen in episodes 5 and 6 or anything like that. I know the titles, but that's it. I don't know anything about them. So yeah, I'm going to leave it at that. I hope you enjoyed my review. Please leave your comments underneath. I really will read them all. And be sure to like and subscribe to, hear my reviews for the rest of the series. And I'm also reviewing every single episode of Doctor Who, so I've practically nearly finished the William Hartnell episodes. I'll be moving on to Patrick Troughton, and I'm also doing the missing episodes. And yeah, hopefully I'll see you in my next review, the Tsuranga Conundrum. And yeah, hopefully the series improves. Bye.